Welcome in, everybody, to Murphy in the Morning. I am your host, Sam Murphy. Thank you very much for joining me today on this wonderful Thursday morning. We have a lot to talk about today. We are going to start with something a little different than normal, but of course, as you all may guess, we will shortly get to some topics, mainly the FIFA World Cup, which yesterday we were able to watch the second of two great semifinals. We saw France beat Morocco, a very impressive performance from the French team. They took the early lead and kind of ran with it. Morocco put up a great fight, a great run by the first ever African nation to make it to a FIFA World Cup semifinal, so they definitely will get their flowers. A great performance by the first team to make it to back-to-back finals in the FIFA Men's World Cup, I should say. And we will, of course, preview the final, which will come on Sunday, between Leo Messi and Argentina and Kylian Mbappe and France. Very exciting, but like I said, we are going to start with something a little different today. So as some of you know, I am a student at Marist College, studying sports comm. This semester, I was able to take a class with the legendary Freddie Coleman from ESPN Radio. This was a class about radio and podcasting. He taught us a ton. He taught us a lot of really, really important lessons, not just for the industry, but for life. And so our final project for that class was to make about a five-minute segment about whatever we want. That's great. That's awesome. We can talk about whatever we want. And I had absolutely no clue what to talk about. I was thinking, okay, I can do whatever I want. Talk about soccer and the World Cup, talk about hockey and the Rangers, talk about literally whatever I want. Maybe I would take these 5 minutes to talk about my dog, for all I care. But for the life of me, when I was thinking about this, I could not think of what to do. So eventually I was thinking one of the things Freddie really emphasized in the class was to be authentic, to be yourself, and that's what will get you places, and never to be afraid of that. And so eventually it hit me that there is a topic I can talk about that I think would be a really good way to show a little bit of that authenticity and show that I took something from class and really appreciated what Freddie had to share with us as a class and me in particular. So today's topic, or I'm going to start it like this, is rather that I want to share something that probably no one watching this knows, and that is that I'm a type 1 diabetic. I have been since 4th grade. I was 9, about to turn 10, so it's been about 11 years now. This is something that it's interesting because it was always something that was very normal to me, actually, because my sister had it since she was 4 and she's a few years older than me. But it's never been something I've really talked about much with people, and not for like any specific reason, but more just because the only people I knew were in my family, were in my family. And yeah, and of course, as a middle schooler and whatnot, you don't want to stand out for what you might think are unpleasant reasons. But yeah, so that is something about me that not many people know. So I wanted to share that here on Murphy in the Morning to let the people know. I'm sure there are more people than I even realized would have it that I maybe not necessarily know, but come across. And so, yeah, but another reason why I want to talk about this is because of some recent news, which is very good in the diabetes community, that the FDA has approved the first drug that can delay the onset of type 1 diabetes. So what that means is that a drug company has developed something that they can give to people who they identify with the markers that they will most likely develop type 1 diabetes, and they can give them this drug, and that will delay when they are officially diagnosed, when they have to, basically once their body stops producing their own insulin, because that is what it means to be a type 1 diabetic. And I thought this was great. It's really interesting. Actually, I have to share that my uncle works for the company that developed this drug, so I've been up to date on what's been going on, and so it's really cool that they have finally been able to get that FDA approval and can start rolling it out to a more general population, and hopefully start helping some people. Of course, this drug wouldn't be something that would help me because I have 10 years of having this, but it is still really cool and kind of shows the progress that is being made on a disease that of course affects a lot of people, from especially when you look at it from both type 1 and type 2, but something that is unique in a sense and that not a lot of people might know about, but then does still affect a lot of people. Yeah, and there's, this science is really crazy. As we all know, science and medicine does a lot. And so it's really cool to pay attention to, the next few years as more and more research comes out, what we are able to do. Of course, with diabetes, we'll be able to create a semi-autonomous pancreas would be really cool. Basically where, because my pancreas doesn't work. That's the like explanation for the condition I have. But will we be able to create one that would allow that to work again, just like controlled from inside the body, but it's not really working? That would be really cool. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff happening in the medical world in general, but also when it comes to diabetes. And I would like to thank you guys for listening to this segment. And we will be back after the break with World Cup talk.